Hello everyone, this is the lecture series of hydraulic mechanics subject and the course code of this subject is ME317 and lecture number 15, and this is unit number secondary running, and this is the course of BTech Mechanical Engineering 5th sem, and this course is running in Suresh Gyan Vihar University, Jaipur, in Department of Mechanical Engineering. For my introduction, myself Rahul Kumar, Assistant Professor of Department of Mechanical Engineering, Suresh Gyan Vihar University, Jaipur. And in the last lecture I have taught about the Bernoulli's principles and its related equation, and these equations related to the momentum equation and the energy equation. And in this lecture I will give explanation about the Bernoulli's equation. Different types of Bernoulli's equation, Bernoulli's application are used here. In the present scenario, the basic and main application is pitot static tube, which measure the air velocity in the air and liquid also. And next is venturimeter, which measure the flow rate, right? And next thing is orifice meter, vanes, and some instruments like as a just like if you send the water from ground level to top 10 floor, so what amount of pump is required and how much power of pump is required, this is given by this Bernoulli's principle only. So this is the best application for the Bernoulli's principle, and this lecture also gives the introduction of and where the Bernoulli's applications are, where the Bernoulli's principle are applicable in this field. And so continue for this lecture. We will move to the next slide. And for the lecture objective, this is the lecture objectives of this lecture, and this lecture objective gives the gives the benefit for the students or which are listening this lecture. And by the end of this section you should be able to understand about the working principle of pitot static tube, and you should be able to understand how to measure the velocity inside the air, and the basic principle of flow metering devices, just like as a flow meter, venturimeter and orifice meter also. And and it's better for the free moving stream, and some numerical problem related to the flow measuring devices. And then move to the next slide. For the next slide we will provide the introduction about the topic. In the fluid dynamics, Bernoulli's principle gives the very good contribution and regarding this theory, application, and the conclusion of this of different types of objects related to this Bernoulli's principle. And this Bernoulli's principle gives the if speed is increases, if air speed is or fluid speed is increases, it reduces the pressure at that point. It reduces the pressure at that point. And for the application of this Bernoulli's equation, just like as a one devices are you seen in the cricket match, the cricketers use a rough ball. One side is rough and one side is smooth ball, which gives the swinging effect or which gives the rolling effect on the atmosphere. And these types of application related to this Bernoulli principle, and blood flows through the heart to the brain. This is the best example for Bernoulli's equation. And one more application is here, golf ball, and how to create dimples in the golf ball. This is a one more application, and different kinds of application, just like as a pressure measuring instruments and all other things. And or we can say that Bernoulli's principle applicable in all real life situations, also. This is the introduction of the Bernoulli's theory, and these principles first time was published in and presented by the Daniel Bernoulli in this book Hydrodynamica in 1738. Means this is the very good book for this fluid mechanics. This gives the theory of Bernoulli's principle and the introduction related to this. This is a Hydrodynamica in 1978, and this is the picture of Bernoulli, sir. And the full name of this Bernoulli is Daniel Bernoulli. By the name of this surname Bernoulli, this gives the okay. And this is the history of the Bernoulli's principles, or Daniel Bernoulli's. And then move to the next. For the statement of the Bernoulli's equation, here gives the one statement: when the increase in speed, means increases the speed of this fluid simultaneously with a decrease in pressure or decrease in the fluid potential energy. If I am increasing the speed of this fluid, it will decrease the fluid potential energy, right? Or we can say that in a horizontal pipe, the highest fluid pressure is in the section where the flow speed is lowest, right? Means and the lowest pressure is at section where the speed of the flow is highest. So this is the relation of Bernoulli's equation, and Bernoulli's equation are applicable for the different ways, just like as a incompressible, non-viscous and non-steady case. Incompressible, non-viscous and non-steady case. For the non-steady, means flow is always in steady condition, right? And the flow having a no velocity, and flow is incompressible in nature. Means fluid compressibility effect is not exist, right? And then move to the next slide. This is the explanation about the Bernoulli equation regarding theory. For this case, here we see this is the v1 into t. This is the distance, means how much distance traveled by this fluid particles. From here the area of the fluid particle is a1, and here is area is also a1. So the velocity is constant throughout this section from this to this here. If area of this section is changed, then the velocity is also changed. But in this case, mass flow rate throughout this section is constant. Mass flow rate throughout this section is constant by the concept of continuity equation. For this case, Q equal to A1 V1 plus equal to A2 V2 if all pipes are connected in series, and these all pipes have a different diameters also. So this H1 and H2 show the different height level of this of this means cross section of this pipe, and this section pipe shows above the Bernoulli's equation can be written as, means this type of these are the datum levels. H1 H2 shows the datum levels, and this S1 is the distance and S2 is the also the one distance, and here the P1 and P2 are the pressure at section 1 and 2. So by this figure we can write this equation: P1 plus half rho V1 square plus rho GH1 plus P2 plus half rho V2 square plus rho GH2, all units in comes under the SI units, and the all head unit is covered into the meter, and here the P is the static pressure of the fluid at cross section, and rho is the density of flowing fluid, G is the acceleration due to gravity, and V is the mean velocity of fluid flow at the cross section, and H is the elevation head of the center of the cross section with respect to a datum. And move to these are the some Bernoulli's theorem assumptions which are used in this analysis. First is no work or heat interaction between a fluid element and the surrounding takes place, and the flow must be incompressible in nature, and here the pipe is frictionless, or we can say that friction by viscous force has to be negligible. Friction of the viscous force has to be negligible for this case. Then these are the assumptions we are taking. A fluid flow from section 1 to section 2 is here, and this is here area A1 and here is area A2, right? And here is applications of the Bernoulli's law. These are applications are related to the flow measuring devices, and first one is orifice meter and second one is venturi meter. And venturi meter, this is a type of flow meter, and that works on the principle of Bernoulli's equation, and this device is widely used in the water and chemical, pharmaceutical industries and oil and gas industries to measure the flow rate, of the fluid inside a pipe. Here this device consists of three sections. First one is this is the converging section, this is the throat, and this is the diverging section of this pipe. For this diverging section of this pipe, which gives this is the pressure head at this point, and this is the pressure head at this point also. So it gives the one TEL line for this case, and similarly in the orifice meter. This orifice meter is also works on the principle of Bernoulli's equation, and works as a flow measuring device. Here one orifice is attached in the cross section of this pipe, and this orifice have a small diameter compared to main diameter of this pipe, and this measure the pressure difference between the incoming and outside or the means this is the inside and this is the outside sections of these pipes, and this also gives the velocity with the help of continuity equation, and both these two devices gives the velocity for the fluid flow, right? And the principle of Bernoulli principle of venturi meter was demonstrated by Galvani Battista Venturi, hence the name is venturi meter, but it was first used in practical metering application. This venturimeter, this is the first used in practical metering applications by Siemens Herschel. In this device or upcoming slide, I will give the introduction related to its part, working principle and the equations related to the venturimeter. So now we will move to the next slide also. This is the real picture of the venturimeter, and in this picture, this is the one pressure probe and this is the another pressure probe. In these sections, this device used for the measurement of flow pattern inside this pipeline, and based on the principle of Bernoulli's theorem, it consists of three parts. Means by the principle of Bernoulli's theorem, it consists of the three parts. First one is converging cone, second is short cylinder throat, and third is diverging cone. These are the three sections, and this is the converging section, and this is the throat of this section, and this is the diverging section. So these three sections which is helpful to find the flow measurements inside this pipe. And first section of this venturimeter is converging cone section, and the converging cone section, this is very important section of this venturimeter, and this provide the accelerate the flow and create pressure difference between the inlet to the converging cone and the throat side. And the angle of diverging cone is from 14 to 20 degree. Means here the angle is here 14 to 20 degree, right? So this slide gives the information regarding venturimeter throat section. This throat section provide the stabilized flow inside this cross section of pipe, and it also provide the provision of pressure tapping also. For this diameter ratio, D by capital D is here 0.4 to 0.7. This is the diameter ratio. D by D is here 0.4 to 0.7 is here. So for this case, we will provide the function of the throat to stabilize the flow inside this venturimeter. And this is the third section. This is the third section of this venturimeter. This is the diverging cone section, and the function of the diverging cone is to reduce the velocity and increases the pressure to its original value to the extent it is possibly practically to angle of diverging cone varies from 5 to 7 degree. This is varies from 5 to 7 degree values, and this diverging cone provide the output section of this venturimeter. And it also give a pressure difference inside this pipe. This is the working principle of this venturimeter, and this gives the cross section of a throat is smaller than the cross sectional area of this inlet section. For this it creates a velocity difference inside this pipe, and for the velocity difference varies the pressure, and this pressure related to the throat and the inlet section of this pipe, inlet section of this venturimeter creates a one pressure difference, and it gives the one H level. H is the difference between the two pressure, directly represented by a difference in distance of the manometer column, and this H directly give the pressure difference, means P2 minus P1, means pressure at the section 1 and pressure at the section 2, and this P2 minus P1 calculated by the rho GH value formula. And for the discharge of this venturimeter, we using the formula just like Q equal to CD A1 A2 divided by under root A1 square minus A2 square into under root 2GH. This H is the difference in 2 manometer column, and the A1 A2, this is the A1 is the inlet area and A2 is the throat area, and this CD is the coefficient of discharge. By using this formula, we will find the discharge of the venturimeter. Discharge of the venturimeter, and this jet discharge by the continuity equation, this discharge is similar to the it is similar to throughout the pipe. Here the figure shows a venturimeter. In this venturimeter, this is the section 1 and this is section 2, and in this section 1 place a datum height is here Z1, and for section 2 place a datum height is here Z2, and this is the HA at this for this manometer from the datum level to this difference in the column, and this delta H creates the difference in 2 manometers column, and this 2 manometer column difference gives the one difference in between 2 column. And suppose consider a steady, ideal and one-dimensional flow, and this one-dimensional flow related to the axis of the venturimeter of the flow field. Under this situation, the velocity and pressure at any section will be uniform, means for this section, for section 1 and section 2, this will be uniform, and let the velocity and pressure at the inlet section 1 are V1 and P1 respectively, while those at the throat section 2 are V2 and P2 also. V2 and P2 also. For this case, we apply the Bernoulli equation at the section 1 and at the section 2 also. So it will give, say, P1 by rho g and V1 square by 2g plus Z1. This is for the section 1, and for the section 2, P2 by rho g plus V2 square by 2g plus Z2. This is for section 2, and this it will give the difference in velocities. These are V2 square minus V1 square divided by 2g. It is equal to P1 minus P2 divided by rho g plus Z1 minus Z2 is also, where rho is the density of fluid flowing through the venturimeter. From continuity equation, it will, by the continuity equation, it will give the V2 A2 equal to V1 A1, where A1 and A2 are the cross sectional area of the venturimeter at its throat and the inlet respectively, and with the help of this equation we can find the velocity V2. So here put V1 here, 1 minus A2 square minus A1 square, then it will give the velocity value V2 equal to 1 by under root 1 minus A2 square divided by A1 square into under root 2GH, 2G, H1 strict minus H2 strict, and this is the physiometric pressure head respectively at point 1 and 2, right? Then by the mass flow rate M equal to rho AV, here put the value of V2 in this mass flow rate equation. This gives the mass flow rate throughout the pipe, and this H1 star equal to P1 by rho g plus Z1, and H2 star is equal to P2 by rho g plus Z2. Hence the volume flow rate through the pipe is given by Q equal to A2V2 equal to A2 by under root 1 minus A2 square minus A1 square into under root 2G H1 streak minus H2 streak. And this above equation shows the discharge of the flow through a venturimeter, and this actual discharge can be calculated by multiplying by theoretical, and for the theoretical discharge value we introduce a one factor here. This is the coefficient of discharge, and this discharge coefficient depend on these different conditions of the flow and losses inside the venturimeter, and different kinds of venturimeter are present in that case, and these are venturimeters. First is horizontal venturimeter, vertical venturimeter, and inclined venturimeter also. So these concept and the inclined venturimeter also. I am sorry for this battery interruption. And then horizontal venturimeter. In this case, this type of venturimeter has the highest kinetic energy and the lowest potential energy also. And the vertical venturimeter, this type of venturimeter has maximum potential energy and the minimum kinetic energy also. And the inclined venturimeter, both potential and kinetic energy are in between the above two types mentioned, for these two types of venturimeter. And one more thing, these are some merits and demerits for this venturimeter. And for the merits, recovery of high pressure is near original value and loss of energy is minimum. In this case of venturimeter measurement of this flow, loss of the energy is minimum. And the demerit is its cost is high and occupies more space than orifice meter. Orifice meter require only less space compared to venturimeter. So this is a demerit of venturimeter also. And these are the different kinds of usage and application of this venturimeter. For this case, this is calculating flow rate of fluid in a tube also, and setting the flow of gasoline in the ignition system of a motor vehicle. And the field of medicine has also designed venturimeter is used to measure the rate of blood inside the arteries. And some more application regarding this venturimeter. And this venturimeter principle used in the carburetor principles, carburetor in engine and in automobile sector to measuring the flow, and used to process industries like as a piping industries to measure and control process flow. And one more is measure the fluid flow inside the pipe. This is the main application and use for the venturimeter case. And in the medical industry, we can use this venturimeter like as a blood flow inside the arteries, and blood flow rate inside these arteries we can measure with the help of this venturimeter. So venturimeter is a one very powerful devices for the flow measuring techniques, and this is very helpful for the use of flow measurement device. And Then move to the next slide. The second device is orifice meter, and it may be installed in pipe with a minimum of trouble and expenses, but it takes very less area, but it increases the losses of the pipe also. So this is the one type of merit and one demerit associated with it. And here is, this is the section 1 and this is the section 2 is this is here. So for the section 1 and 2, it gives the pressure at section 1 and the pressure at section 2 is here. And this A shows the area of the section 1, this pressure at the section 1, and this is the velocity at section 1, and this is the vena contracta area. For this orifice meter, it gives the minimum, where the minimum area is called the vena contracta, means this region shows the vena contracta, and it gives the more vortex flow behind this region, right? And this is the VC of the vena contracta velocity of this flow, and this delta H gives the difference in pressure between the two sections, and two sections just like this section 1 and this is the section 2. This is the working of the orifice meter, and since we know that similar as the venturi meter, orifice meter also determine the rate of flow through pipe, and it consists of a circular plate which has a sharp edged circular hole called orifice, and it is fixed concentric to pipe also. Then orifice diameter is generally kept half of the diameter of this pipe, and it is based on the same principle as explained in the venturi meter case, and the value of CD varies between 0.6 to 0.65, and this value gives the coefficient of discharge for the orifice meter, right? And the working of this venturi meter is similar to the venturi meter principle, and for this case orifice, but orifice requires very less area compared to venturi meter, so it is used in the flow measurement for pipe, but it can also provided a one demerit is here, it provide the very high disturbance in the pipe flow. So this is the demerit of this this is the difference between an orifice meter and venturi meter. For venturi meter tube, in this case there is no contraction, and the area of jet is always equal to the area of throat, and the area of jet is always equal to the area of throat. But in the case of orifice meter, here contraction is applied, and if contraction is applied, so this is the jet area effect on the variable area of the jet, and this area is less than the A0, the area of the orifice. So this gives the vena contracta region, right? And for the venturi meter, it gives the CD equal to CV, and CV is the coefficient of velocity, and CC is the coefficient of contraction, and CD is the coefficient of discharge, right? So in for venturi meter, it is equal to CD equal to CV equal to CV, CC is equal to 1 or 0.98 or 0.99. But in the case of orifice meter, while for the orifice meter, it is much more affected by the variation in CC than it is by variation in CV also. So this is very, venturi meter is good for the case of flow measurement devices. So these are the some differences between the venturi meter and orifice meter also. And this is the third flow measuring device, and this is the pitot static tube. With the help of pitot static tube, we can measure the velocity and flow rate of this fluid flow, and this pitot static tube generally measure the difference between the static pressure and the dynamic pressure. And this is the dynamic pressure, and here this pipe gives the stagnation pressure of this flow. And for this case, and it is also called like as a impact tube or the stagnation tube, impact tube or stagnation tube for this case. And then P by rho g, this is the pressure head at this point, and P by rho g plus V squared 2g, this is the pressure head at this point. So this height delta H, it gives the difference between the static and dynamic pressure also, right? And this is the third application for this Bernoulli's equation. This is the operation of this pitot static tube, and pitot static tube directly measure the flow velocity inside the fluid. And as this tube contains fluid, a pressure can be measured, and the moving fluid is brought to a rest, stagnates, as there is no outlet to allow flow to the continue. And this pressure is the stagnation pressure of the fluid, also known as the total pressure, or particularly in aviation the pitot pressure. And the measured stagnation pressure cannot itself be used to determine the fluid flow velocity, air speed in aviation. However, Bernoulli equation states that it gives the stagnation pressure is equal to static pressure plus the dynamic pressure also. It gives the static pressure plus dynamic pressure. So this is the operation principle of the pitot static tube. It is measure the velocity of the aircraft, and with the help of pitot static tube we measure the velocity of this submarine also, right? Beside from these three applications, and those applications are important application for the Bernoulli's equation, but some more applications are very good for this. This is the racing car, and in this car, this is the spoilers which spoils the flow of this free stream surface, and it will create the negative lift, and this lift at the downward direction, and this spoiler can also reduce the vortex region behind the bodies, and this Bernoulli's principle is very helpful to create a less drag in throughout the body, and how to give the aerofoil shape, to the automobile industries. And this is a very good application for this Bernoulli's principle. Then move to the next application. One question is here, and every mind search this question regarding why airplane is fly in the sky, and this is the pressure difference between the upper and lower surface of this wing. Pressure difference between the upper and lower surface of the wing, and this can explained by the Bernoulli's principle. And this is a application of lift, and if any airplane fly in the air, it creates some forces, and these forces are lift. This is created at the upward side, weight of the aeroplane, which is always act in the downward direction by the gravity, and this is the thrust. This is produced by this jet engine, and this is the drag. Drag is always opposite to the aircraft in the backward direction. This is a one force, drag, and drag force gives the Fd equal to CD half rho v square into A. This is the drag force formula. And this Bernoulli's principle, very good application for this for this aerospace industry. And suppose in this slide it gives a one aerofoil shape of this body, and this aerofoil shape of this wing gives a, suppose this is the aeroplane, this is also this is the fuselage of the aeroplane, this is also a one aerofoil shape, and this wing also creates a aerofoil shape, and this aerofoil shape gives the camber angle, and this incidence angle are the different types of, and this is the leading edge of this aerofoil, and this is the trailing edge of the aerofoil, and this aerofoil designed in such a way which creates the lower pressure at the upper surface and the higher pressure at the downside surface, and because of this the downside slow air moving under the wing, and the high air flow and the faster air moving over the wing, right, in this wing. So it creates a low pressure region. If low pressure region, so it will create a downward force, and this is the high pressure region, it creates a upward force, and the difference between these two forces, it creates a lift at the upward direction, So this is the main contribution of this Bernoulli's equation in the aerospace industry, or any such type of wings like a delta wing, trapezoidal wing, swept forward, a sweep wing, or a straight wing, any type of wing which have a aerofoil shape, and this aerofoil shape represented by a NACA advisory, right? This is a committee which gives the different type of aerofoil wing shapes, right? This is the visualization of this Bernoulli's principle of the application of lift. In this case, this is the aerofoil. This is the one aerofoil. Here the leading edge, here the trailing edge. This is the straight air is moving. So if the straight air is moving, so this is a very slow air, and it creates a high pressure. And for the upper layer, this is the upper layer. This is the very high layer at this end, and it creates a low pressure region at the top. So this is the concept behind the how to create lift on this airplane. For the conclusion of this lecture, it is very helpful to aerodynamics applications and sports and racing industry also, and the daily life significance, how to shift the water from ground level to top level, and this is the principle behind it is Bernoulli's principles. And then move to the MCQ questions of this is the first MCQ question: which of the following is not type of force considered in the Navier-Stokes equation? So the answer of this question is C. C is the correct answer. Then move to the next question: which of the following equation is a result of momentum convergence for the inviscid steady flow? And this gives the Euler equation. Euler equation is the right answer for this question. This is question number 3. In this question number 3, Bernoulli equation in a fluid dynamics is valid for compressible flow, transient flow, continuous flow, and the viscous flow. So this is valid only for the continuous flow, right? For this case, You solve this example, and the correct answer for this question is A. A is the correct answer. 22.4 meter is the correct answer for this question. Then move to the next question. In this, if you solve this question, then you will get a B. This is the 2 meter per second. This is the correct answer for this question. And then move to the next question, and this is the next question is, if compressibility force and the surface tension force are neglected from the Newton's second law of motion, which is the following equation result? Navier-Stokes, Euler equation, Bernoulli's equation, and Reynolds equation. So Reynolds equation gives the good result for this case. Then move to question number 7. And what does a pitot tube measure? Upon which principle does a pitot tube work? This is the pressure Bernoulli's principle. This is the correct answer for this question. Then move to the next question. For the next question, the below figure shows a pipe with a circular cross section of diameter this. So the correct answer for this question, if you solve this problem, then you find the question. C is the correct answer for this question. And in the equation, the unit of E cannot be written as, and for this equation is here P by rho plus GZ plus V square by 2. The unit is here, right equation, kg per meter per second square. This is D is the correct answer. For the question number 10, the best place of this pitot tube on an aircraft for the velocity measurement is just behind the jet engine. This is a false statement. So the correct answer for this question is B is the correct answer. This is a very false statement. These are the references of this book. Different types of references: Fluid Mechanics, V.L. Stripper, and Fluid Mechanics and Application, S.K. Gupta and V. Gupta also. And thank you for this lecture. Thank you all of you.